there! For today's Hitchcock review, I'm discussing I Confess from 1952, starring Montgomery Clift, Anne Baxter, and Karl Malden. This is another one I'd seen once or twice before. To be honest, I've already seen most of Hitchcock's suspense movies, so this series of reviews is kind of short on new surprises for me. Fortunately, as in this case, it's been a long time, and hopefully I'm a little bit smarter than I was when I saw these the first time around as a kid. This one especially felt pretty new. This is an atrocious and inaccurate movie poster, by the way, but I didn't have anything better to choose from. I Confess opens with a murder being committed. And no, that's not a spoiler. The murderer, throwing on a priest's cassock, flees the scene and goes to a Catholic church, where, in a burst of conscience, he confesses his crime to the priest, Father Logan. Father Logan is now burdened with this knowledge, but he feels he cannot divulge what someone told him in confession. This turns into a serious problem when Logan himself becomes the prime suspect. I really like the first act. There's a gripping opening sequence, there's some interesting camera work, including some shots that follow Montgomery Clift around like a paranoid pair of eyes watching his every move. There's good use of light and darkness, especially in the church. Very noir, clearly symbolic. A lot of Dutch angles, maybe too many. The second act is where a whole other layer of the story unfolds. The unexpected twist is good and messes with your mind a little as you start to reconsider the things you learned before versus the new facts that are coming out now. But there's something about either the backstory itself or just the way that Hitchcock chose to tell it that feels kind of melodramatic to me. The third act is part courtroom drama, part chase. Courtroom drama requires your full attention, which is probably why this movie kind of bored me as a kid. Father Logan's moral conflict is the focal point, which can be a little frustrating if you are of the opinion that he should just tell the police the truth already and be done with this whole thing. I must say, it's kind of funny and kind of a bold move on Hitchcock's part to cast Montgomery Clift here. Granted, this was still fairly early in his career, but this was right after his success in A Place in the Sun and just before From Here to Eternity. I think he was already established as one of the biggest heartthrobs in Hollywood, and then bam! Here he is as a Catholic priest. Not that he doesn't fit the part. Clift became famous for playing conflicted, sensitive roles, and that's exactly what this movie calls for. I would say that judging by the amount of religious imagery, Hitchcock probably intends the viewer to see Father Logan as a type of Christ, suffering for another's sin. On at least 2 occasions that I noticed, Hitchcock shows a shot of Montgomery Clift and then deliberately readjusts it to show him in front of or behind crucifixion-related statuary. And the fact that he did it that way just made it come across as a little too heavy-handed and obvious. Regarding the rest of the cast, Anne Baxter looks great, and as she did on other occasions, she plays tortured or infatuated or both simultaneously with class. And Karl Malden plays the tenacious inspector with a kind of wily, kind of obsessive gleam in his eye. And, Brian Ahern, however you say it, is in this movie. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Mr. Ahern for my ignorance of him when I filmed my review of the Jane Eyre radio broadcast that he starred in opposite Bette Davis. I thought that I had never seen him in a movie, and I guess I was wrong. I realize now that he was a charming man. The film doesn't focus on him much, but I did appreciate a certain delicacy or awkwardness in his role as a family friend who must turn vicious in execution of his duty as prosecutor. To summarize this review, this one's not one of my favorites. It's not one of my least favorites. It's just kind of middle-ish. But it's still Hitchcock, and Hitchcock still does his thing, making the movie interesting by creatively positioning and filming his actors and sets, and telling an engrossing, suspenseful story. So that's what I thought. What do you think? Feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching! Bye!